Alright guys and girls, this is a video response to us to a guy on YouTube for he made a verbal deal about replacing the AC compressor on a EcoBoost F150, and he just did it while he's driving down the road, which I really appreciate that because it really helped out a lot. Now, that being said, he didn't have any shots of what it takes to do it under the car or working on it. So he said he was going to try and do it. Well, I'm doing a job today. He messaged me back. Really great guy. You know, he gave me a couple of little pointers. He just didn't have. He was trying to get some video of what actually it takes to do it. So since I'm doing it today, I'm going to go ahead and take care of this for him, and I'm going to try and post it as a response to his video. So I'm going to flip the camera and I'm going to show you what I had to take off to get in the compressor, and a couple shots up under the car while I still have it apart. So here goes. So those are your turbo inlet and charge pipe for the passenger side, which is where the compressor is. I pulled those out. I mean, that's a given. You just look at it, you know they got to come off. So I'm gonna grab a flashlight. Pillow comes in real handy because you'll be kneeling up on this thing quite a bit. But climbing up in here, you got your hose clamps for both your charge pipes you see down in there, or your intake and your charge pipe. 8 millimeters. You got one coming from up here from the airbox. Then you got one. The other one. Oh, look, I'm dropping stuff. The other one goes down there on the intercooler. That's pretty self-explanatory. You have to pull the intake side off first, I believe it was. You pull it out and you twist it around a couple times and you wiggle it out of there. It'll come out. You do have these two lines that hook to them. One of them goes on the intake side of the turbo, one goes on the outtake. I think that was the outtake, but you're not going to mess them up because they're kind of in the right locations anyways. So you probably shouldn't be able to screw that up. You see that hole right there next to the Ford? There's a little pop-in grommet that has to come out as well. I don't know how your hose clamps will be orientated on the turbos. Mine were somewhat easy. I came in through the fender well to get one of them down there behind that A-arm bracket there on the frame for the upper control arm. So that was pretty easy. That's one of the 10 millimeter bolts for the new compressor. I've already got the new compressor in there. But there's one in the back, and then there's two in the front. It's pretty standard Ford looking compressor, so it's got the two in the front like a regular Ford one does, but it's one in the back, which is a little different because all the 5.4s use the 4 bolts. But I mean, working the belt off, I just kind of spun the crank around. Let me slide up underneath here for you. I just spun the crank around while working in here. Sorry about the shakiness. I'm not a professional camera guy, but your charge air pipes. I mean, I got to this one from down here. I went ahead and loosened that one up just because I thought I might have to pull that one out. I didn't, but and you got this little thing there that goes up there. It's just pop clivets in, and a couple of them are little twist jobbers. All but one of them, those twist jobbers, came out by hand. I had to put pliers on one. There's the AC belt and the skid plate you see back there. Now I'm going to lay back down this way because all that was up there. There's the felt noise reduction thing that goes under the bottom. It kind of hooks into the skid plate thing that's down here. And luckily, we're working on a 2-wheel drive. So like this spot here would be taken up by your front differential, which would probably suck at getting to these bolts because you'd have a CV shaft right here. You can see kind of where the cutout is in the plastic where they would cut it out. You can see it's kind of rounded there. But the other bolts are fairly straightforward. You can see this bottom one here in the front. You can't see the one in the back barely. You can, you could kind of see it right there on the very edge of the camera. They're really not that hard to get out. This truck is a Florida truck, so it's been up north a few times, not a big deal. A little bit of rust, minor rust. I've heard that if they're up north, they really do get really to be a pain in the butt. You got your standard 13 millimeters for the hoses up there, the 2 lines. I suggest breaking those loose at least before you drop the compressor out. That's really not that bad of a job. I mean, I got it done, and I've probably got about 2 hours in it now. I'm not going to show how to put the belt on. There's a couple of guys out there that show you how to do the zip tie trick, which I haven't got that far yet, so I don't have an opinion on that yet. But, you know, they zip tie it to the crank, and then they spin the crank over while holding it on AC, and it all pops on. They have a special tool for it, but everybody says that the special tool doesn't really help that much. You got your tensioner right there, that main pulley that you can see, if I could get the shadow away. That's a 15. You need to swing it back towards the crank, so if your wrench is hanging down, you're going to push it towards the driver's side, get that belt off. It's really not that bad. I disconnected this. Where are we at here? There we are. I disconnected that there for while I was rotating the crank. Made it a little bit easier. I rotated the crank on this side with my right hand while I had my left hand curved back around through here. See. Yeah, I had my left hand back around through here, pushing on the belt while I was rotating it, and it came off fairly easy. A couple of rotations. I mean, if, you know, you can be fighting the crank, trying to hold it on there and keep it from popping off, but you know, it's really not that bad of a job. I thought it was going to be a nightmare the way people were describing it, but it wasn't that bad. So this is the video response. I wish I had his name. I'll probably link that in here or something if I can, but that's pretty much it. I mean, about 2 hours, and I had this this sucker out after debating whether or not I really wanted to do it. So really not that bad of a job, but we're gonna let it go from this point. And like I said, this is a 2013 F150 EcoBoost motor. So I mean, it's not that bad of a job, but you know, just pretty much get into this area here. Most of everything, like, see, I left the airbox, all the airbox stuff over there, all intact, and you know, that's pretty much it. I mean, just pretty much get into this area here. You rub your hand a little bit. I didn't actually ding a knuckle or nothing like that, but you know, it's really not that bad of a job. I don't know. The guy had messaged me about the condenser. He said that's pretty easy. That's what he sent me a message on this morning. So I mean, I'll just take it apart and pull these off, and hopefully lean the radiator back and then pop it right off. Hopefully it's as easy as it goes. I mean, you got your couple connections down here. This one, you got one down here somewhere. Yeah, right there. And it should pop right out because the desiccant bag is over here on this side of the condenser behind that piece of plastic. So it's whenever compressor goes out, it's recommended to replace it most time anyways. So this is where I'm gonna sign off, because you know, just wanted to let everybody know kind of what it looks like down there and how much of a pain in the butt it'll be. It's really not that bad. So good luck on y'all's job if y'all gonna attempt this job. If you a DIYer, you know, I do recommend you have somebody with a machine suck it down. Some AC shops will do it, I guess. I've never personally had anybody do it for me because I have my own machine, and it's older than dirt, but it works still, and that's what matters. So just suck your system down, do all your stuff. Your expansion valve's pretty easy. I've already done one of those. So I mean, that's pretty simple. Just make sure you replace all your O-rings and don't nick them. All right, y'all have a good day. See ya.